Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the garage here. So I started to work on my 54 Matchless G9B here. One of the things I want to do is try to clean up some of the oil leaks. It leaks a lot of oil, a lot more than what's even expected from a British bike. So one of the areas to address here is the primary side of things. You can see I have it taken apart already. So the way this works, it's not the world's best design, but it's what they used back in the day. So you have a stamped steel inner cover, and then you have a stamped steel outer cover. So it's just metal on metal. Okay, it's just this metal, this tiny little metal lip against this metal lip, and then they had this rubber like C-channel, that rubber, almost like a rubber band, that once you had that on there, you fit that around so it enclosed both sides of your metal lip. So half of it went here, half of it went on the other side. There's one bolt in the center, and then you have this big aluminum C-clamp that goes around it all and scrunches it up tight. Well, it doesn't work very well. It leaks. So some people try to gob all kinds of sealant on here, which is such a thin surface. I mean, it might work. And that's how somebody had done this, and it still leaked. So there's actually a new and improved seal, which I just got in the mail yesterday. So this is more like a T shape. You can see here the cross section. Okay. So now this section here goes in between those two metal, two stamped steel inner and outer covers to try to see, and then this, of course, this outer part loops over both. But then you still scrunch it with the same metal band. But this rubber going in between the two pieces of steel, in theory, is supposed to stop it from leaking. This is the new and improved seal that somebody came up with in the aftermarket. From what I read online, it works very well. So I'm going to try to be fitting. I'm going to try and fit that. The one thing I don't like is the original style seal was one continuous piece. This, you pretty much cut to length, put the seam up at the top, because there's only a little bit of oil in there. Put the seam up at the top, I guess super glue it together or something, and I wish it was all one piece like the originals were. I got a couple of cork gaskets. There's some for the inspection cover. There's one for the clutch hub that sticks out. If you notice, if I flip this over, you can see how this clutch piece comes out. So there you can see how that comes out. So there's a seal under here, so I'm going to replace that while I have it apart. And then this hole is for the inspection, which is this. Okay. So there's a new seal for that. So that's one of the things that I'll be working on putting back together here in the next day or two. And then over on this side, I had a huge leak from the gearbox. So I pulled the outer cover off. There's the outer cover. And I took all the pieces out that you had to take out. And I took the inner cover out, because there's a gasket from between this, your transmission gear case, and this, which fits up here like this. There's a gasket for this surface, and of course there's a gasket to go over this and the outer cover. So I already had those gaskets. The plan was to do all of this at once. Sorry. Pull this all apart and then immediately just put some sealant on the gaskets, put the gaskets in, and reassemble everything. However, when I took it apart and cleaned everything up, you probably can't see this or feel this obviously, but this main shaft bearing, man, it's extremely gritty and nasty. I can't put that back like that. Even though the transmission worked fine, I don't want to go to all the hassle of sealing this all up, and then, you know, a year or two from now I got to pull it all back apart again and replace this bearing. So I have that bearing on order, so that'll be coming soon, and then we'll go ahead and put this gearbox back together. I'll bring you back and show you that process of, I thought I was filming taking this apart, and apparently the battery in my camera was dead and I did not realize it. I'm more of a mechanic than I am an electronics guy. But I will bring you back when I put it back together, and I'll make sure I have the camera working, and we'll get this gearbox put back together. So I got the inner cover all cleaned up. Just waiting for that bearing. I still have to clean up the outer cover. Everything in there looks good. All these pieces, you got your kickstart ratcheting mechanism. This is your gear change drum. All these pieces look good. And when I took it apart, the inner cover here is held on by just 3 screws, and they were extremely loose. Like, I could tighten them a whole nother turn or more. So I think because of vibrations, those screws tend to work loose. So I'm going to clean out all the holes real good and clean off the screws real good so there's no oil on them or in the holes. And when I put this back together, I'm going to use some blue Loctite on all the screws. Try to keep them from loosening up over time. So that's where we stand with this project. It's gotten extremely cold here in Pennsylvania now. We're down in the 20s at night and only highs in the 30s, which that's extremely cold even for Pennsylvania in November. Well, December now. But yeah, so hopefully I can still get out here in the garage. When my bearing comes, we'll put this transmission back together, and I may take one morning here and work on getting this primary put back together, see if I can finagle that seal in there. That almost looks like one of those jobs where I'm going to need three or 4 or 5 hands to try to hold all this together while getting that seal in there. First I want to clean this all up. So we'll see how hard that is to do by myself. But that's where we stand for now. I'll bring you back when I start to work on this and make some progress, but I wanted to give you an update on what I was doing and what we're waiting for. So hope you guys are warmer than we are here, wherever you're at. And until next time, get out in the garage and work on something.